Welcome, gentlemen. If you're here, it means you're ready to see the truth, the uncomfortable, hard-hitting reality that most men never face. This isn't about impressing women. Forget all that noise. This is about protecting yourself, safeguarding your dignity, and preserving your power. Because here's the truth that modern society won't tell you. Most men tolerate far too much. And it's not because they're weak or worthless. It's because they were never shown the line. They never learned where to stand and say, enough. They've been conditioned to believe that endurance is virtue, that patience and selflessness will eventually earn love and respect. But Machiavelli, the ultimate strategist, would have laughed at that. He understood something most men never will. Too much patience is self-betrayal in slow motion. Today, we flip the script. You are no longer a man who bends endlessly to please others. You are a man who stands firm, who knows his worth, who commands respect with quiet confidence. In this video, we're exposing 8 behaviors no man should ever tolerate from a woman, not out of anger, not out of pride, but out of unwavering self-respect. Each behavior you let slide chips away at your dignity, piece by piece, until you're left with nothing but regret. But if you catch even one of these, if you truly understand it, you build armor, emotional armor, that makes you untouchable. So stay with me, listen closely. This isn't just advice, it's a mindset shift, because a man who tolerates everything will end up with nothing. Behavior number 1. Disrespect disguised as jokes. Disrespect doesn't announce itself with thunderous insults. No, it creeps in disguised as jokes, those small, sneaky digs wrapped in humor. Picture this. You're on a date. She smiles and says, "Wow, you're shorter than I expected. Cute, though." Maybe you laugh it off. Maybe you say nothing. You think, "I'm staying cool." But what's really happening? She's testing your boundaries. Machiavelli said, "Injuries must be inflicted at once so that their effect is minimized." That means when you allow the first disrespectful jab to slide, you're opening the door for more. It's like a crack in the dam. Water will flood through. So how do you respond? Don't meet disrespect with anger or drama. Stay calm. Stay composed. Simply say, "I don't joke about respect." Then change the subject. This shows her that you respect yourself first. And a man who respects himself doesn't chase validation. He commands it. This is your power moment. Quiet, firm, unapologetic. Behavior number 2. Emotional manipulation. Through guilt next, let's talk about one of the deadliest tools of control. Guilt. Unlike disrespect, guilt doesn't demand, it whispers. It makes you feel wrong for standing up for yourself. For example, she cancels plans last minute. You feel annoyed, naturally. But suddenly, the script flips. You're too sensitive. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Now, instead of addressing her actions, you're defending your emotions. Machiavelli warned, "A wise prince learns to recognize the noose before he feels the rope." If you find yourself apologizing for how you feel, you're already caught. How do you break free? Don't argue about your feelings. Don't explain yourself. Clarify your boundaries. Say, "I don't feel bad for respecting my time." Then, be silent. Let the space speak. If she keeps wielding guilt, she's not seeking partnership. She's testing how much of yourself you'll surrender. Gentlemen, these first 2 behaviors are subtle, but powerful. They are the cracks where control seeps in. By recognizing disrespect disguised as jokes and refusing emotional manipulation through guilt, you build a foundation of self-respect. And remember, it's not about fighting harder. It's about standing firmer. If you absorbed part 1, you're already on the path to reclaiming your power. You've seen how disrespect, cloaked as jokes, and guilt as emotional manipulation silently chip away at your self-respect. Now let's go deeper. Today, we're exposing two more behaviors that most men either miss or tolerate, often to their own detriment. Behavior number 3, weaponizing silence for control. Silence. It's a powerful force. It can soothe, heal, and bring peace. But in the wrong hands, silence becomes a weapon, cold, calculated, and devastating. Imagine this scenario. You express a need, a simple request. Maybe you want clarity, maybe a little affection. Instead of a response, you get nothing. No text, no call, just silence. The tension builds. You wait. You wonder if you did something wrong. You crack first, because most men do. This is not accidental. This is control. Machiavelli taught us, one must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. Silence is her trap. Don't walk in. Your power move? Do not chase her silence. Do not explain. Do not plead for affection or answers. Answer once, with calm clarity. Say what needs to be said, then detach. Shift your focus back to your goals, your mission, your life. Let her feel your absence. A man who does not fear silence becomes untouchable, because when you stop reacting to silence, you stop being led by it. You become the master of your emotional domain, not a prisoner. Behavior number 4, testing boundaries. Through disrespect, most women who don't respect a man's boundaries won't attack head-on. They test it with small, quiet disrespect. Late arrivals without apology, interrupting mid-sentence, flaking on plans without explanation. These aren't accidents. They're deliberate tests. Imagine a first date where she shows up 30 minutes late. No excuse. No sorry. Most men shrug it off. I'm chill, they say. But every tolerated disrespect teaches her that you have no line. Machiavelli's insight: it is much safer to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. But fear here is not about aggression. It's about unshakable standards. How do you respond? Stay calm. No lectures, no ego. Simply say, noted. No anger, just clarity. If it happens again, withdraw your time and energy. Scarcity creates respect. Men who accept everything lose everything. Gentlemen, weaponized silence and boundary testing are subtle tactics designed to wear you down slowly. But when you recognize them and hold your frame with calm certainty, you build an aura of strength that commands respect without raising your voice. This is not about domination. It's about sovereignty. The quiet authority that comes from knowing your worth and refusing to compromise it. Gentlemen, you've already learned how to spot disrespect disguised as jokes, emotional manipulation through guilt, the weaponization of silence, and boundary testing. Now, it's time to uncover two of the most emotionally confusing tactics: the emotional roller coaster and gaslighting your intuition. Behavior number 5, using emotional highs to cover red flags. One of the most insidious forms of control is the emotional roller coaster, the sudden highs that blind you to the lows. Think about it. One moment she's showering you with affection, attention, intense connection. The next, cold distance, withdrawal, or even disrespect. When you express discomfort, she pulls away. When you conform, the warmth returns. This isn't love, it's training. Training you to link your obedience to affection, to love. Machiavelli warned, benefits should be conferred gradually. Injuries should be inflicted at once. Love bombing, overwhelming affection, is the benefit. The cold shoulder, the silent punishment. That's the injury. Watch the order. That's where the game reveals itself. Your response? Detach from the emotional highs and lows. Observe patterns. If her affection only comes when you comply, it's control, not connection. Let your compass be your standards, not her mood swings. Stand firm. Stay calm. Hold your power. Behavior number 6, gaslighting your intuition. Gaslighting isn't always loud or obvious. Often it's a quiet attack, a whisper that chips away at your confidence. She might say you're overthinking, too sensitive, or imagining things. Raise a valid concern, maybe about her texting an ex, and suddenly, you're the insecure one. You find yourself defending your sanity instead of addressing her actions. Classic deflection. Machiavelli said, "The vulgar crowd is always taken by appearances." Gaslighting attacks your perception because your clarity threatens her control. How do you protect yourself? Don't argue over feelings. Don't seek permission to feel what you feel. Stick to facts. State your boundary clearly. Stand by it calmly and unshaken. A man anchored in his own mind cannot be swayed by emotional tricks. Gentlemen, the emotional roller coaster and gaslighting are traps that keep you confused, off balance, and vulnerable. But when you recognize these tactics and respond with calm clarity and unbreakable standards, you reclaim control over your emotions and your life. This is the foundation of true masculine sovereignty. Unshakable, unwavering, untouchable. You've done well to get this far, truly absorbing the lessons on emotional manipulation and boundary setting. Now we move into territory that challenges your identity, your masculinity, and your very independence. These next 2 behaviors are subtle, yet profoundly destructive. They chip away at your core by attacking who you are and what you stand for. Behavior number 7, shaming your masculinity. In today's world, attacks on masculinity are everywhere, often disguised as concern or progressive thinking. But make no mistake, these are frame battles. You might hear, "You're too aggressive," or "Real men are supposed to be more sensitive." You may be called controlling when you lead decisively or problematic when you hold firm opinions. This isn't a debate. It's an attempt to soften your edge, to make you easier to guide, easier to manipulate. Machiavelli's wisdom cuts through this noise. A prince must learn how not to be good. Virtue is contextual. When wielded against you, it becomes a weapon. So how do you respond? Stop begging for moral approval. Your masculine traits, leadership, decisiveness, ambition, are not sins. Don't explain them. Live them. Lead with calm certainty. A man who respects his own nature commands respect without asking. Behavior number 8, punishing you for having a life outside of her. A healthy relationship encourages individuality, but some women will punish you for investing in your mission, your friends, your hobbies, not with fights or accusations, but with guilt trips, passive aggression, subtle sabotage. Picture this. You cancel casual plans to prepare for a major project. Suddenly you're told, work matters more to you than love. But this isn't about love. It's about pulling you off your path. Machiavelli would smirk at this illusion. Men judge more by what they see than by the truth behind it. Perception has become her weapon. How do you hold your ground? Stay calm. Stay unmoved. Affirm your priorities without apology. My mission is non-negotiable. You're welcome to be part of it, but never instead of it. A man loyal to his path becomes untouchable, not through arrogance, but through alignment. Ironically, that's when she respects you the most. Gentlemen, these final 2 behaviors target your essence and your freedom. But when you stand firm, unapologetic, and aligned with your mission and nature, you become sovereign. This sovereignty is quiet. It doesn't demand attention. It's the aura of a man who has chosen himself, regardless of approval. You've now identified and understood 8 critical behaviors that quietly erode a man's self-respect and power. But knowing these isn't enough. The true transformation happens when you understand the why behind these behaviors and how to respond with sovereign strength. So let's step back and see the bigger picture. Most men never realize this until it's too late. Every boundary you fail to set becomes a silent lesson. One she teaches you not with force, but with small, invisible patterns that chip away at your dignity. It's never a slap or a shout. It's a disrespectful joke you ignore. It's a manipulation you brush off. It's a need you suppress to avoid conflict. And each time you let it slide, you're not being patient or noble. You're being trained. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Power is rarely taken by armies. More often, it's surrendered through habits of self-betrayal. His writings weren't about oppressing others. They were about recognizing when you are quietly conquered, not by armies, but by your own blindness. The woman testing you isn't your enemy. She's seeking clarity. She wants to know if you have a line or if you're just going to fold. Because in nature, softness without structure is not respected. Not in politics, not in war, and not in relationships. Machiavelli's deepest lesson was never about domination. It was about vision, knowing exactly where you stand, never bargaining with that foundation. Imagine this. A king doesn't lose his crown because an enemy storms his castle. He loses it when he forgets to wear it. His enemies don't dethrone him. His own negligence does. This is what happens to men every day. They lose their sovereignty, not because women are malicious, but because they stop acting like kings. They allow small compromises to become habits. They trade respect for temporary peace. They let guilt replace clarity. From this moment on, your path is simple. Draw your lines early. Make them clear, firm, and unapologetic. Not with anger, but with calm certainty. Defend them quietly and consistently. You don't need to raise your voice to protect your peace. And when necessary, detach. Walk away, not to punish, but to preserve yourself. This is not cruelty. It is sovereignty. Sovereignty is not noise. It doesn't demand attention. It is the silent aura of a man who has chosen himself, regardless of approval. Machiavelli's true gift was not teaching men to conquer others, but to stop being conquered by their own weaknesses. The man who knows his worth doesn't fight every battle. He chooses his wars with precision. He understands that not every reaction deserves his energy. Because here's the final truth. A woman will mirror the standards you enforce. If you tolerate disrespect, she will give you disrespect. If you hold your ground with calm, she will either rise to meet your standard or remove herself. Either way, you win. Real power is not controlling her. It's never needing to. When you understand this, you step into a different category of man. You become untouchable. Not because you fight harder, but because you've stopped kneeling for things beneath you. This is the Machiavellian way. Sovereignty, clarity, quiet strength. And now, it's yours. Gentlemen, if this has spoken to you, if you're ready to stop surrendering your power and start walking your path with clarity, then stay tuned. What I'm working on next will change the way women see you and the way you see yourself, because this is only the beginning. If you found value here, don't just keep it in your head. Write a comment, even a few words. Hit the like button. Share this with someone who needs it. Trust your instincts. We're all building minds that don't break. Welcome to the final part, gentlemen. You've walked through the truth behind the 8 unacceptable behaviors no man should tolerate, seen the bigger picture of self-betrayal and sovereignty, and felt the weight of this transformation. Now, it's time for action. Knowing without doing changes nothing. So let's get practical. How to build your emotional armor and enforce these boundaries every day. Step 1. Know your worth. Deeply before you can command respect, you must know your worth. Not as society defines it, but as you define it. This means identifying your non-negotiables, values, goals, standards that are untouchable. Write them down, speak them aloud, feel them in your bones. When you know your worth, you don't chase validation. You command it. Step 2. Draw your lines early and clearly. Boundaries are your invisible armor. Set them early in every interaction. Don't wait for disrespect to pile up. The first time she crosses a line, calmly and clearly state your boundary. Use phrases like, "I don't joke about respect. I respect my time. My mission is non-negotiable." No anger, no lectures, just calm clarity. Step 3. Practice detachment. Detachment is your power. When a boundary is tested or crossed repeatedly, detach emotionally. This doesn't mean coldness. It means valuing yourself enough to walk away, without drama, without justification. Remember, walking away is preservation, not punishment. Step 4. Build emotional awareness. Know your triggers. Recognize when guilt, silence, or emotional highs try to pull you in. When you feel off balance, pause. Check your facts. Ask yourself, is this manipulation or genuine interaction? This awareness is your shield. Step 5. Lead your life. Stay aligned with your mission, hobbies, friendships. Never apologize for your life outside the relationship. When she challenges it, affirm calmly, "I'm committed to my path." You're welcome to be part of it, but never instead of it. This loyalty to yourself makes you untouchable. Step 6. Hold your frame in social situations. Respect is often won or lost publicly. In conversations, never tolerate interruptions or disrespect. If someone crosses the line, calmly say, "Noted," or redirect. Maintain your composure. This builds an aura of calm authority. Step 7. Stop begging for approval. You don't owe explanations for your masculine traits. Leadership, ambition, decisiveness. Live them with calm certainty. Others may resist or try to shame you. That's their problem. Your integrity is non-negotiable. Gentlemen, these steps are not quick fixes. They are daily practices that build your emotional fortress. Over time, you become a man who is not just respected, but untouchable. Not by fighting harder, but by standing firmer. Remember Machiavelli's wisdom. True power is not domination over others. It is sovereignty over yourself. Choose yourself first. Set your standards. Enforce your boundaries. And watch how the world and women respond. Thank you for journeying through this truth with me. If this content has moved you, comment below, share with a brother who needs it, and subscribe for more clarity and strength. Your transformation is underway. Stand tall, walk your path, be untouchable,